from the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
The weather was a little bit cooler for Carolina athletics this weekend as fall gets into full swing. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Julia Thompson.
And I'm Kyle Lobenhofer. It may be getting cold out there, but no one had a colder matchup than our men's hockey team, who sent little brother NC State packing with their first loss of the season. But before we get to hockey, let's talk football. On Saturday, UNC football took on Georgia Tech, hoping to end its 3-game losing streak. The Yellow Jackets found the end zone first, but UNC answered 2 drives later with a rushing touchdown by quarterback Jacoby Criswell. With less than 2 minutes left in the first half, running back Amarion Hampton found a gap and ran 71 yards to set up a 4-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver J.J. Jones, cutting the Yellow Jacket lead down to 3. Down 13 points at the half, UNC closed the gap back to 3 after Elijah Hussey's 69-yard punt return. Despite Georgia Tech scoring again, the Tar Heels didn't back down. They converted on several fourth downs to put Criswell in the end zone yet again. And with defensive stops, the Heels tied the game at 34 with less than a minute remaining. Unfortunately, UNC's defense was unable to stop Tech's offense, which quickly scored again. Carolina fell 41-34, a stinging 4th straight loss.
They're all coming down to a game. They're all coming down to a play. There's a thin line between winning and losing, and this team's had a load put on them. So what we've got to do is just keep getting better.
Let's go now to Passes with Pryor to learn more about this 4th straight loss. Bethany?
Kyle, the game was an offensive battle that went down to the very last minute. Georgia Tech's offense prevailed through their speed and execution. All day, Georgia Tech knew they could run the ball to the outside and beat Carolina with their speed. The jet sweep was a huge way that Georgia Tech was able to utilize their speed. They either effectively showed the jet sweep or they effectively ran it. For example, this is the beginning of the second quarter. They're second and long, and the Yellow Jackets are lined up in 10 personnel with no tight ends and 4 wide receivers. So we're going to see the wide out right here. He's going to cover the outside linebacker. The running back's going to cover the corner, and that's going to make a wide open shot for the slot receiver to run the jet sweep. So he's going to run. He's going to grab the ball. He sees these blocks. He sees the hole, and he gets a great 10-yard gain for the Yellow Jackets. Now, the jet sweep, read option, and short passes to the flat set up the inside run. Carolina tied the game with just 45 seconds left, but the Yellow Jackets sealed the game with this inside run. So the lead blockers kicked out the defensive end and the linebackers, and the running back reads the hole. He sees a wide open hole down the middle. Carolina's defense just can't stop him. He gets a huge touchdown for the Georgia Tech team, winning the game for them. Their offense won the game. They had great plays, and UNC just couldn't keep up.
Bethany, going into the bye week, what should the Tar Heels be focused on?
Kyle, the Heels need to be able to finish the game. This is the 3rd game the Heels have stayed close the whole time, but they let the opposing team score at the very last minute. They fought hard, but they let Georgia Tech get away with the inside run.
Maybe the Heels can use this off week to get some things sorted out. Thank you, Bethany.
In a critical conference matchup Thursday night, the number 2 and undefeated North Carolina women's soccer team traveled to Berkeley to take on number 17 California. From the start, the Tar Heels showcased their offensive prowess, outshooting Cal 17-5. Despite North Carolina's relentless pressure, the Golden Bears mounted a strong defensive effort, managing to keep the score level. As the match neared its conclusion, tension mounted. With just 11 seconds remaining on the clock, Bella Sember seized the moment, scoring off a rebound from a penalty kick to clinch a thrilling 1-0 victory for the Tar Heels. And in a top 10 matchup, the second-ranked Heels found themselves in an early deadlock with the 7th-ranked Cardinals. Carolina outshot Stanford 7-2 in the first half, but could not score. Stanford broke the deadlock, scoring in the 81st minute off a tap-in goal from forward Shea Harvey. Carolina looked exhausted in the final 9 minutes, losing 1-0 to the Cardinals.
The Tar Heel men's soccer team traveled to South Bend Friday to challenge the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Heels played a tough match against the Irish, with neither team able to score in the first half. Carolina trailed Notre Dame through the second until the 54th minute when Matthew Acosta took a long-range shot straight into Notre Dame's goal, his very first goal at UNC. The Heels couldn't quite secure the win in the remaining time, putting the final score at a 1-1 draw. UNC is now 7-1-4.
Number 1 ranked field hockey went to Louisville on Friday, searching for a 9th straight victory. Despite a strong start, the Heels struggled to get on the board. However, junior Molly Catchpole broke the deadlock with a sneaky deflection from Sietska Bruning's shot. Louisville only managed 3 shots on goal all game, but one of them found the back of the net at the end of the second quarter, tying the game. Aaron Matson's team fought vigorously, and with less than 7 minutes to play, Sauna Hawk's between-the-legs finish gave the Heels a hard-fought 2-1 victory, extending the undefeated streak for Carolina.
The Heels had a strong showing in their match against App State yesterday, winning 5-0. Sophomore forward Charlie Bruder achieved her second hat trick on the season, as well as her 13th total goal. Midfielder Plume Lammers picked up 3 assists on the day to secure the undefeated 10-game winning streak. The Heels are looking forward to Wake Forest on Friday.
This weekend was yet another great one for the Heels. Let's go to Sophia's sideline to hear about how the girls are keeping up their incredible undefeated streak.
Julia, we've talked a lot about Riley Heck this season, and how could we not? She's a powerful force on the field for the Heels, who dominates in the crease. But I think it's important we look to some of the other women who've helped to make the points possible. And this weekend, sophomore forward Charlie Bruder was one of those players. To no one's surprise, Heck is going to be pivotal here on this setup with the ball going to make an attempted goal. But instead, she quickly pivots and makes the pass to Bruder, who is ready to take action. Here we see that the goalie is now away from their position. Bruder has 2 defenders in her way and number 10 trying to sneak around, but she doesn't hesitate and slaps that ball straight into the corner of the net. And while here we see Heck with the assist, Plume Lammers had an incredible game against the Mountaineers. At 3 assists, Lammers achieved a new career high, and with it helped obtain another shutout victory for the Heels. The Heels had an impressive series of games on the road, and they're sure to come back to Karen Shelton Stadium with the energy high. Julia?
Sophia, what can we expect from Wake Forest at the end of this week?
Wake Forest had a tough game against Louisville yesterday, but was able to pull ahead in double overtime for the win. But the Demon Deacons typically struggle away, having lost 3 out of 4 of their matchups in enemy territory. I feel confident the Heels can keep their win streak going.
After playing away for about a month, we'll see how it goes when the Heels return to Karen Shelton Stadium on Friday. Thanks, Sophia.
On Friday, the volleyball Tar Heels traveled to take on NC State, hoping to extend a stellar start to the season. The Heels controlled most of the first set with big swings, including this one from Imani Foster to give the Heels set 1. The Wolfpack rallied back in the second set with their blocks and aggressive swings. Wolfpack senior Jada Allen's serving allowed the Pack to keep their lead and win set 2. Both teams went back and forth through sets 3 and 4. Mabry Schaffmaster and Chelsea Thorpe brought the energy for the Heels with their front row presence. But in the end, the Wolfpack won 3 sets in a row, defeating the Heels 3-1. Sunday, UNC pushed point for point with the Demon Deacons in the first set. Then Chelsea Thorpe set the Heels apart with this shot down the line. Thorpe closed out the first set with 8 kills. In the second, it was sophomore Zoe Barrett with 2 service aces like this one to secure the 2-0 lead. And she ended the night with 26 assists. In the third, Alexis Engelbright elevated the Heels with a crafty slice to the Demon DS. Amani Foster put a dent in the floor with her powerful drill of a swing, ending Wake's chances of a comeback and improving the Heels' record to 13-2.
UNC opened its favorite season on Saturday with the blue versus white basketball scrimmage. The Heels welcomed 3 freshmen to the starting lineup for the game: Drake Powell, Ian Jackson, and James Brown. They showed promise, with Jackson and Powell both putting up 10 and 8 for the white team, while Brown scored 9 for the blue. Returning players Elliot Cadeau and Seth Trimble also played strong games. Trimble led in points with 19, Cadeau had 4 assists, and Cadeau also had 12 points. The team as a whole was 8 for 25 from the 3-point range, something they aimed to improve on from last season. In the end, Team Blue won the matchup 63-53.
UNC Women's Golf hosted the Ruth's Chris Tar Heel Invitational this weekend. Carolina finished 4th, and sophomore Reagan Sutherland matched her career best 69 in the first round on Saturday. Junior Megan Stryker shot a bogey-free 65.
The men's tennis team participated in the ITA Carolina Regional this week. UNC freshman Chris Shu's impressive run ended in the quarterfinals on Sunday. Shu, who won 5 straight matches to reach the main draw, fell in a 3-set thriller, 3-6, 7-5, and 6-3. In doubles, Tar Heel Diego Jerry and Vladislav Melnik also saw their run cut short, losing 8-5 to a Wake Forest nationally ranked duo.
UNC Ice Hockey took to the rink on Friday, looking to bring down the undefeated Ice Pack. The Heels quickly brought the energy as Nick Ansbacher had this deflection goal off a point shot, going bar down to give the Heels their first goal, putting the Pack on their heels early. But the Pack hit back. The Heels were running behind the Wolfpack for the first 2 periods, but started to gain momentum in the third. Patrick O'Shaughnessy gets the puck beneath the red line from his teammate Tommy Gilligan. O'Shaughnessy works his way behind the net where he leaves the puck for his teammate Will Smith, who tucks it in just inside the near post, beating the state goalie. Carolina tied the game in the third, ultimately leading the game into a shootout. Will Smith went in with a slower approach, stick handling to deke the goalie, keeping control of the puck, and burying it right into the back of the net. The Tar Heels got the dub, while the Ice Pack headed back to Raleigh with a 6-5 loss.
Now reporter Kiara Mucci shows us how a rivalry matchup had a much greater goal than just beating the other blue.
During one of the biggest rivalry matchups of the season, the Theta Tau chapter of Zeta Tau Alpha and UNC men's hockey aimed to raise money for breast cancer education and awareness by pinking the rink. The hockey community coming together to raise awareness and funds for this vital cause hits close to home for some players.
Yeah, so my grandma passed away from cancer. She had breast cancer early on and then kind of beat that, and then unfortunately passed away from cancer again. And then after that, I've also found out my mom had breast cancer at one point, and although it was early stage and they caught it, it was kind of something that really kind of shook up my whole world just because that's someone I really care about. So almost kind of dealing with the thought of losing her really affected me. Throughout all of that, I always had hockey at the end of the day, so I could always go to the rink, could always hang out with my teammates, and that was a great way to kind of get away from some things that may have been going on at home, especially with obviously cancer, so that was always good.
It means a lot. I mean, I've had family affected by breast cancer, so to be able to play my part in that, whether it's just raising money by playing in a simple hockey game. I mean, at the end of the day, it is hockey, but this is more than just a game here. We're coming together to play for something bigger, and I think that's great. It's amazing. I think that obviously rivalries are one thing, sports are one thing, but like I said before, this is something bigger than that, and so to put aside our differences and kind of join together for a common cause is just really good.
This is the second annual Pink the Rink game. Last year, UNC was able to raise $1,360 for the cause, with the Heels winning against Duke 15-4.
This year, the event was able to raise $1,550 towards fighting breast cancer, and to make it even sweeter, UNC won against Duke 17-5. I'm Kiara Mucci reporting.
The high-scoring hockey game united the UNC and Duke communities in a powerful fight against breast cancer.
Normally on Mondays, we'll give you our top 2 choices for play of the week. This week, however, we have only one, and it comes from the end zone of Kenan Stadium. This week's play was a touching moment for all sports fans everywhere, as J.J. Jones caught a 4-yard touchdown reception. J.J. chose to wear his teammate and friend Tylee Craft's jersey to honor him and his fight against cancer. This touchdown put Carolina's score at 13, which is also Tylee's number. UNC dedicated this game to everyone in the fight against cancer. Carolina football announced after the game that Tylee had passed on. We are extremely saddened and heartbroken for the Carolina football community, Tylee's family and friends, and all those who were impacted by his incredible legacy. We know his impact will be long-lasting at Carolina and hope that the community can come together to support one another and the Kraft family during this devastating time. Thank you for joining us this morning. That's all for Sports Extra.